We are not. And we made
We are not.
Yeah, we made that pretty clear the last
But I don't think that's been
cycle.
like officially announced to people. Like, we are not coming back to Little People Big World. Like, we are done. That part of our lives, that chapter has closed. Which,
I think the chapter is closed regardless of us being asked back or not.
Right.
And like, we've made it pretty clear we're done with that chapter for multiple reasons. The reasons we will get into here.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. I hope everyone's having a great day. Well, you know, it was only a matter of time before another TLC family would completely deconstruct and explode and implode, because now after 25 seasons, Matt and Amy Roloff's last child standing on the show Little People Big World is and are leaving the show. Tori and Zach Roloff announced on their podcast this morning that they will be leaving Little People Big World, that season 25 was their last season, and that they could no longer be a part of a project that they couldn't stand behind and that they didn't support. The leading up to this decision was a massive fallout between Zach and his father over the farm, with Matt not wanting to sell a portion of the farm to his son and instead using the farm as an Airbnb and really allowing greed to get in the way of his family. Matt Roloff has been pretty narcissistic, in my opinion, and has pushed out nearly every member of his family and put fame and money over the well-being of his family. And for whatever reason, Amy has gone right along with it. Every single one of their kids has left, and Zach and Tori were the only ones left. And I'm sure for Zach, a part of that was maybe the fact that he himself has a form of dwarfism, and the show being about little people might have felt a sense of responsibility to still stick it out. But now a father of 3 of his own children, it sounds like Zach is not on board with his children having the same experience that he did growing up. Now, it sounds like Tori might be guiding quite a bit of this, but in fairness, Zach did mention in the podcast that when you have a parent that has a regular 9-to-5 job, normally mom or dad goes to work and has their job, and the kids do not have to participate in making the money for the family. But when your family is on a show like Little People Big World, you have a situation where the kids are then working and become a part of the pressure of making the show. Citing the fact that their kids are getting older and their own children are not cooperating with filming and are not wanting to be a part of it, they are going to be leaving the series. I can't help but think that the fact that they have no relationship anymore with Matt and Caryn has not played a role. So let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video.
do you ever regret having your life filmed when you were a kid?
Yeah, there's episodes that I regret, and there's things I've said that I regret.
Maybe not doing the show anymore was
The kids.
We were having these conversations about, like, do you think that they're going to be proud of this product when they're 30 years old and sitting talking to somebody? Do you think that they're going to be, because they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice if our oldest, Jackson, he has voiced his opinion on things that he doesn't want to be a part of with filming or the show.
I actually kind of feel bad for Tori, because I feel like Zach understands that he got the fame and he got the money and they have this beautiful home and he has this like nice lifestyle he would have never had without the show. So he's having a very hard time saying that he regrets being on the show. And I think that for Tori, she revealed that she was very reluctant to ever be a part of the show. But when you look at how things have really deteriorated over the last several seasons, where Zach doesn't even want to talk to his dad, can't stand Caryn, and doesn't think that, he barely has a relationship with these people at this point because of what his dad did and how his dad and Caryn put money over the family. And all they do on the show now is fight. And Zach looks miserable and he doesn't want to answer questions. And I keep wondering to myself, like, if I were Amy and Matt, I wouldn't care how much money I was making. I wouldn't care that I was living this beautiful lifestyle. This show has caused serious damage to this family. Their son, Jacob, was SA'd by a producer of this show, and they still kept on filming. Jacob didn't tell them until he became an adult, but still, even once he made that disclosure, they still kept filming. I would have quit at that moment, because no matter who was a producer now, no matter what changes had been made, safety precautions were not in place, and people that had histories were working on the series, but they kept going on. And now they have another child whose entire life has blown up. He has no relationship with Zach. And I bet you that Amy and Matt will keep filming. I wonder if it's worth it. Is money worth it more than your family?
For us, we're not very dramatic people. And so it always turned to like health issues and talking about our kids' health issues and your health issues. Yeah. And it got to this point as a mom that I'm like, I don't want to talk about everything that could go wrong in my kids' lives. Like, I want to talk about and celebrate what they are about and like the things that they're interested in. And that was hard for me.
That's what the kid was playing Legos. Whatever he does after that, though, is based off that feeling of he's trying to search for that attention again. Yeah. And that might be a crying or a fit. And now we're filming the fit. Is that fit real?
Right.
Or what context created that fit? The context of people in the house that aren't family. So yes, it's reality television,
But there has to be some dramatic.
Under the context of reality. It's reality under the context of reality television.
Right.
It wasn't them saying have a fit,
Right.
But
I actually have to commend Tori for not wanting to talk about her children's medical conditions and have the entire show being about all of the issues that could go wrong with their children. Because when you have a child that has medical conditions, and I can completely empathize with this as a mother of walking the same path as her, when someone's trying to exploit what your child is going through as drama for a show, it really takes away from the seriousness of, one, what you're going through, but two, it's reducing your child to whatever challenge it is that they're facing and not celebrating the parts of them that just make them a human. And not only that, but when you're putting out private medical information about a child, they're going to become adults. And someday there's going to be all of these episodes of them having surgery, going to the doctor, getting weighed, having needles in them, having pokes. Going through procedures with your child is one of the most challenging and hard experiences any parent is going to go through. And then to have that be exploited for drama for a show, it just feels really icky. In fact, the way that they've been managing Zach's hydrocephalus the past couple seasons has made me feel very uncomfortable as a mother of a child that has hydrocephalus. It's going through those types of surgeries, and when a shunt malfunctions is extremely serious. And to have it just as drama for a show, it feels so invalidating to the person that's going through it. And Zach also had mentioned that a lot of the issues that happen on the show, or the outbursts, or the kid behaving a certain way, are a byproduct of the show. He gave an example of they have to film a scene, and in the scene, the mom and dad are going to play with the kid, and they're only going to play for a few minutes, but the kid doesn't understand that it's just for the show. And there's all these people in the room, and then they're going to film it, and then they're going to walk away. And then that kid is done playing, but maybe in the real world, he's not done playing. And he doesn't understand, or he or she doesn't understand why they're done playing. And then that turns into a fit, which then they exploit for footage for the show, not being honest that it's the actual show causing the outburst. So when the show is actually detrimental to the child, it's not real life.
And yeah, so that wore on me a little bit. That pressure to be this middleman in between my mom and dad,
and
then
talk about them constantly.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about them. I didn't want, like, no one else does that at 30.
TV, reality in general, I've seen time and time again families be torn apart by reality television. It's human nature to just say things, and they're never supposed to be heard by the person that you were talking about, right?
Totally.
However, when you have a TV show, you hear those things, and that's really difficult to watch back an episode and have people constantly giving input on your life, constantly giving input on other people's lives, and that
shows
wears
the bad
on you.
Communication though too between everyone. Like, you're able to tell a producer that, but you haven't said that to that person's face. It's like,
this would have been such a hard place for Zach, because for the entire time that he's been the last sibling on the show, he has been the go-between between Matt and Amy, because Matt and Amy just really don't interact anymore. And when your parents don't get along and then you are being forced to be in the middle of their relationship in a divorce on a show, that's just such an unfair place to put a child. And so I can understand why he would want to move on from that. But I also understand where Tori was coming from, because Tori was saying that it's hard for her to have the input of everyone else in her business, but when it comes to filming, you're asked questions by producers. You're saying things that are off the cuff. You're asked to talk about the people in your life constantly, and it's not normal, because in your normal day-to-day life, you're not constantly talking about your parents and their relationships. And then once you say something, you don't know what's going to get put out there, and then that person's going to hear it. So people that you love are hearing things that you're saying that you maybe would have never said to their face. Conversely, the same thing is happening to you. So you're hearing your in-laws say things about you, or your parents say things about you that they would never say to your face. And you're doing all of this for show, for money, for fame. And that's, the farm broke them up, but Zach said that the farm issue wasn't helped by the show. But I can't help but think that, like, this is one of the exact same issues that the Sister Wives kids talk about too. Like, that the biggest problems in their family come down to that they are forced to relive the same situations over and over and over again. And sound bites and cruel comments just become like a replay in their lives that you can't heal from the wounds. And it ends up just destroying you. And again, I just ask, like, is this worth it? I'm going to put this on the heels of Matt and Amy, because Matt and Amy are the only ones that have not put their kids first. Tori and Zach are finally going to exit. They should have exited a long time ago. What is happening this season is really sad.
It was also time for us to move on, because I didn't want, personally, to hate your family. Like,
my disappointment was probably, in my opinion, it took me to finally say, this is done.
Yeah.
Out of other people in the room, multiple people, not just the family members, it was finally like, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
This is out of control. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's the core.
Unlike the Brown family, who won't walk away from the show while their family is imploding and deteriorating because they don't want to give up the money, Zach and Tori don't want to be a part of a situation where everyone starts to hate each other. It turns into a war, and they can't come back from it. And Zach said that he had to be able to put his well-being and his family's well-being ahead of money. That is something that Amy and Matt have never done. They've never put their family over money. And yes, the show gave them a great life. It gave them a lot of perks. It gave them opportunities they never would have had before. But at what cost did all of that come? I understand that, reality TV has been sort of this big experiment in the world. And it's been this, like, we have this intrusive nature where we want to, like, peer into people's lives. And in the years that I've covered reality television and all these other topics, I've learned something that nothing about reality TV is real, and everything is highly produced, and everyone's playing a part. Even Zach in this podcast said it's hard for him to decipher between things that are said on the show, between his what is really being said, or if that's like just something that they're playing a part, like Matt playing it up for the camera. Is he really feeling that way, or is he just doing that to get a reaction for the show because he knows that that's what's going to get good ratings? And he has admitted to doing things like that to his family, where he will provoke Amy because he knows it will make good TV. So when you have these blurry lines of, I don't know if you really mean this or if you're just doing this to get ratings, it's going to negatively impact relationships. And Zach and Tori are at a point where they can't stand anyone in the family. They don't like Caryn and Matt. And I think their relationship is hanging on a string with Amy. You just have to, again, ask yourself, Amy and Matt, was this worth it? Is it worth all of this to have your divorce be in the middle of television, your family fully break down, every single one of your kids walk away and say the exact same thing? The family that you see on TV is not our real family. What you're seeing on TV is a highly produced, scripted version of who we are. And I understand they probably felt like, due to their disabilities, that they didn't have a lot of financial options and this was easy money for them. And, with Matt's mobility issues, it probably felt like easier work in the capacity than having to do farm labor, hard labor all the time. And he would have more money and it would be cushier and it would be easier on his body. And I can understand him wanting to do that. But I can also understand that sometimes just doing a regular job is better, and having your family together is better than sacrificing everything that you wanted in your life. I used to think Amy was a decent person, but watching them just sell out their family and sell out their divorce and sell out everything for drama, it just makes me lose respect for them as parents. It makes me question a lot of their choices. It's the same thing with the women from Sister Wives staying on the show with Cody, even though everyone knows Cody's an abuser. It just makes me feel like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this out to the masses? Yes, it makes good TV, but is good TV more important than having a family? I know if I were going through something really hard in my life, I would not want to have cameras filming. I mean, we have gone through, in my life, some of the most darkest situations in parenting with our extended families. And I can't imagine what it would have been like to have that on TV and have everyone have an opinion on it. Some things deserve privacy, some things deserve attention and concern, and sometimes families don't need to be run as a business. They need to be run as a family. So again, I'll ask Amy and Matt, was it worth it? You can watch Tori and Zach's full podcast on their channel. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.